Top 7 Best GPU for VR 2023. Through extensive research and testing, I have put together the list of options that will meet the need of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or particular use, we have got you covered. For more information, I have put links of products in the description. Make sure to check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Number 7. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070. It's not about the numbers TKO, but in a larger sense, what the RTX 3070 does is still a knockout. Pull back and consider that the RTX 3070 is cheaper than the RTX 2080 Ti by a factor of an entire budget gaming PC. Plus, it flats RTX 2070 cards and all AMD comers in our suite of benchmarks. The expertly designed GeForce RTX 3070 Founders Edition is not the absolute fastest video card on the planet, but it deals almost every other card on shelves today, barring its RTX 3080 and RTX 3090 can a brutal takedown. It earns our Editor's Choice Award and a perfect 5-star score as the best video card value of this or any year. Before we get to that benchmark beatdown, though, let's dig into the specifications of the Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070 Founders Edition. Number 6. AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT. The Navi line, as AMD next-gen video cards have long been termed, took a while to arrive, but early returns state that AMD is clawing its way back into contention. The $399 Radeon RX 5700 XT is the upper of two new graphics cards, based on a 7nm 7M production process that aim to muffle the thunder Nvidia has been enjoying in the mid-range market for so long. And after running it through our benchmarks, this card does so with gusto. But aside from that, the RX 5700 XT is an encouraging card that, thanks in part to a sudden pre-release price drop, gets AMD to a better place than it's been for years. Mid-range graphics card shoppers hungry to see some competition will be pleased. Lower power requirements, better performance per watt, less cooling needed to maintain healthy GPU temperatures. The Navi cards launch on July 7, 7/7, alongside the company's first 7nm Ryzen CPU. Among them, the Editor's Choice winning Ryzen 9 3900X was engineered to commemorate the new process technology and architecture. Number 5. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. Nvidia has been on an epic tear with its launch of the GeForce RTX 30 series of graphics cards, much so that finding one in stock has been like tracking Sasquatch. The company is looking to keep that hot streak and those torrid sales going with the release of its new GeForce RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition mid-range GPU. At this writing, the GeForce RTX 3060 Ti is almost uncontested at $399, with AMD older Radeon RX 5700 series cards unable to keep up, and even the new RX 6800 series slipping often enough to rocket the RTX 3060 Ti higher in the standings than we expected it to go. The RTX 3060 Ti, which goes on sale deck, too, is another killer entry in Nvidia's Ampere family, and it earns our Editor's Choice Award as a mid-range card that punches well above its weight class. Its only credible rival, the great $499 GeForce RTX 3070 above it. On the RTX 3070 and the GeForce RTX 3080 Founders Edition we tested, the cards were encased in a brushed matte gray strip of metal, while the RTX 3060 Ti wears a powdered silver finish instead. It strikes that same balance of mature and intimidating that we've talked about in previous reviews of RTX 30 series cards, but it lines things up just a tad, in sync with its less lofty placement in the performance tree. Number 4. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080. Is that a pumpkin? A leaf falling off a tree? Well then, it must be that time of year again when Nvidia invites us back into CEO Jensen Ewing's kitchen to watch new graphics cards pulled from his oven of technological delight. This time around, his team has baked up a sequel to the original GeForce RTX line of 20 series cards, the flagship of the stack. The $699 Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 Founders Edition features new architecture, Ampere, the follow-on to the GeForce 20 series Turing, a brand new cooler, a revolutionary PCB design, and tons more compute cores to boot. This launch represents a new approach for Nvidia. In part, it falls back on technological revolutions past, but it also forges its own path forward with fresh solutions to old problems that could, over the next few years, if not decades, revolutionize how PC gamers interact with their favorite games and creative applications. Number 3. EVGA GeForce RTX 3050 XE. Budget graphics card remains an oxymoronic term here in 2022, but it all depends on where you draw the budget line. At least on list price, Nvidia is making an effort. Its GeForce RTX 3050 desktop GPU, launching today, starts with cards at an ostensible $249 list price, and it's the new GPU that has impressed us the most in 2022 so far, mind you, of just two. We tested it in the form of EVGA GeForce RTX 3050 XE Black Gaming 8G, one of a host of RTX 3050 cards launching today. As a ray tracing engine, the card performs surprisingly well, keeping price for performance pace with the GeForce RTX 3060, and it sometimes clears the 1440/60 frames per second hurdle that many gamers aim to jump. The EVGA tops both the venerable GeForce GTX 1060 and the $159 list Nvidia GeForce GTX 1650 Super in testing almost universally, the latter a card launched in November of 2019. Its main competition, the $199 AMD Radeon RX 6500 XT that launched last week to lukewarm reviews, isn't always as far behind as it should be, but our testing shows the RTX 3050 to be the new standing performance leader in its class. We can't predict how much stock Nvidia's card partners will be able to serve up, but given its Editor's Choice Award-winning performance, we don't expect stocks of RTX 3050 cards to last long, at least at the outset. Gamers who play at 1000A type or 1404 type should get one while they're hot. Number 2. MSI GeForce GTX 1660 Ti. Nvidia has been winning for a while, and winning a lot. Whether it's sending AMD Radeon cards to the cleaners with regularity in benchmarking face-offs, seeing its stock price, despite some recent quakes, increase 10 times over in 2 years, or leading the charge on bleeding-edge tech like real-time ray tracing. For a while it seemed that Nvidia was an unstoppable silicon juggernaut, but then RTX happened. Or rather, it did happen, more specifically. Despite Nvidia's posturing about how the special features in its RTX line of cards would usher in a new era of high-end graphical fidelity, nearly 6 months after the release of GeForce RTX cards, only 2 games support real-time ray tracing, Battlefield V and Metro Exodus. With a line of pricey graphics cards on the market that perform like champs but don't yet do much to justify their increased market-resetting cost, Nvidia quickly found itself in a position where it needed a card with a more common touch. Enter the GTX 1660 Ti. Number 1. Nvidia GeForce RTX 2060. When Nvidia's original GeForce RTX 2060 launched in January of this year, many were left scratching their heads at why the card existed in the first place. Until today, it was the latest RTX family graphics card to be released by the company, hitting shelves almost 5 months after the initial RTX launch. Now, 6 months later, we have the release of the $399 Nvidia GeForce RTX 2060 Super, a mid-range card that offers above-average performance combined with a competitive price point. It's a strong contender in its price zone, though in some scenarios, saving $120 or so and opting for a card based on the GeForce GTX 1660 Ti makes more sense, depending on the types of gaming you plan to do after your next card upgrade or PC build. We've already published a breakdown of the full situation surrounding the announcement and launch of Super cards in our review of the GeForce RTX 2070 Super. But as a brief recap, this card shares much in common, on a specifications level, with the original GeForce RTX 2070. Though Nvidia would not verify my theory, it's likely that this card is based on the same die as that non-Super GeForce RTX 2070, just using versions stepped down a bit due to silicon yields. Under that theory, the RTX 2060 Super would be based on the original RTX 2070, and the RTX 2070 Super on the original RTX 2080. So guys, that's all for Top 7 Best GPU for VR 2023. The links of all products are given in the description, which are updated for the best prices. Subscribe our channel for more videos. We will meet in next video. Till then, take care. Bye.